It's a Comic-Con, hope you speak my language. Your Harley Quinn don't need explaining. All I really need for you to do is just please talk nerdy to me.
What's going on, everybody? You are tuned in to another episode of Nearly Nerdy. Recorded live in the Slick Studios, Stony Creek, Ontario. As always, your hosts, AJ, James, a.k.a. Mr. J, Ricks, myself, Spads. Boys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's get it going.
You want it?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nearly Nerdy.
I thought it was AJ.
You thought I was AJ?
No, I thought AJ was, because he said, like, at the beginning we were talking about it, and he said, like, okay, I'm bringing it in.
Yeah,
oh, no, I
I
was talking about Origins. I was going to start with Origins. I was just telling you the format of how we're doing, but, you know, I figured...
We're off to a great start.
Exactly, right? You know, that's a little spice there.
Yeah, definitely. So, what we're talking about today is Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
So, we've all gone out. We've all watched the movie. I hope everybody else has too. If not, it's fucking awesome. So, we got AJ. We got myself, Mr. J. We got Ricks. And, Josh has been hitting the gym. As you can see, he's lost a lot of weight.
And he grew a lot of facial hair.
Yeah. His girlfriend will be happy. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, we got a special guest, Trevor, up in the house tonight. He might be a little nerdier than me, guys. So,
yeah,
you know, if he continues to come on, we might have to switch the lineup a little bit. Like, I'm gonna have to sit more to the middle. So
I'm coming for you.
Bring it.
Yeah, all right.
My mic just fell.
So welcome, Trevor.
Yeah, man.
You okay, Rex?
Yeah, stick this under here.
Some technical difficulties here with some new stands.
Top heavy.
So anyways, AJ, you want to start us off? And,
Yes.
what are you going to do?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the origins of Wonder Woman, because, you know, she's pretty awesome. And amazingly, she's actually truly part of a Trinity, part of the 3-year gap that DC kind of started when they first started their comic books. So she originally came out... I forgot to write the year down. That's beautiful. Awesome. All-Star issue number 8, which is 3 years after the first Superman comic and 2 years after the first Batman comic, which was pretty awesome considering within the 3 years they had all 3 characters from like the 1940s going on further. It was 1941. Now that I remember. Cool thing is she was created by the person who actually helped create the lie detector. Right? William Markson, was that his name?
Yep, William Markson, yep.
Yeah, William Markson, which kind of inspired his whole the lasso of truth, being that he thought that women were more honest and they should be shown as more honest women or people, because out of the race, essentially, they tend to be more, what would be the word? Graceful? No. just, I guess, honest. Again, I realized I was very redundant with that. Obviously, she was a huge female inspiration. Obviously, she was a type of character that they thought they can kind of like, through female propaganda, kind of inspire women to do things that weren't normal to at the time with women in regards to like job, careers, different avenues to do things, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool. And this was back in the 1940s when they had World War II, so women were starting to take more of the lineup of like the limelight in regards to doing jobs that men were doing during those times, or weren't able to do during those times because they were off fighting the war. Cool thing about her origin, so we got the all-star, like ish from her original all-star days. Paradise Island, or now called Themyscira, was a part of a or basically was where the Amazon race of females were led to by Aphrodite to actually live on, right? And they built cities, that kind of stuff. Women or kids were made out of clay and, graced with, gifts from God and that kind of stuff in regards to what they should, what they would be and stuff like that.
Yeah, but is that how they were all created? Because like in anything semi-recent, basically they just kept saying that Diana's special because...
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
I'm going to get to that. Yeah, so in the original All-Star editions, they were made from clay, right? Okay. Throughout the timelines, they had changed her origin a little bit. So just talking more so about the All-Star Edition origin, when still Steve Trevor did land on their island. He was actually sent there by the gods, and it was there was a tournament that was determined, there was a tournament that would be made to determine who would actually go back with him to Man to basically protect Man, right? And Diana was the one who won that tournament, thus she was given the Wonder Woman outfit, her iconic outfit, all that kind of stuff, so it's kind of cool. During that time, obviously she fell in love with him, so that storyline still kind of falls into place, which is pretty cool. Then we go to the DC-52 era. So DC-52 had Hippolyta and Zeus come together, do all the stuff, which is kind of cool with Greek mythology.
That why, like that's what thunderstorms were in the New 52?
Yeah. Right? Which is really cool. I like it because if you guys know Greek mythology, a lot of kids of Zeus were made from Zeus, or like Poseidon and like all those like characters.
Demigods almost?
That's how demigods were made, right? So Hercules and all that kind of stuff, they were made based off of all these Greek gods coming down to earth and having sex with women, right? And then boom, demigods were made. So that was kind of cool how they kind of went in that storyline. Also kind of cool little tidbit where they kind of ventured off. They also made her a god of war at one point. So Diana was a god of war at one point, so that was pretty sick, really? Right? And then
the helmet too, or is it...
yeah, legit, it was pretty sick. And then obviously we know that so we obviously know about her super abilities and stuff like that as well. But one more thing I want to talk about just quickly, maybe we'll switch over, is so what they did for babies in DC-52 was kind of dark. You guys know how a praying mantis mates? They basically have sex with males, cut off their heads, kill them off. Similar in ways. What they would do, the Amazons, or I guess Amazoness women, I guess would make sense, would board the ships of unsuspecting ships and stuff like that with men and all that kind of stuff, and they would sit there, have orgies with them, kill them off, and send them off their ships. So that's how they basically get what they need, impregnate themselves, kill off the dudes, and then go back to Amazon. Or Themyscira, and exactly.
So I got a question about that though, because what would happen if they had a boy?
Oh, man, like, they'd probably kill them off. It'd be like they'd be dead when they were born. Yeah. They wouldn't even survive past crying. They'd be like, penis. So quickly, just talk about her strengths. We obviously know she has super strength. She has the strength to pretty much rival characters like a Shazam, Superman, Martian Manhunter, who also have super strength and flight and stuff like that as well. She, in the All-Star universe, they had her have the ability of pretty much all the Olympian gods, so like super speed, not flight, but strength, all that kind of stuff that the Olympian gods had. But in the New 52 and current, they've basically given her like Zeus's power, but they've also kind of elaborated where she's pretty much a demigod herself, where she has unsurmountable amount of strength. And you'll like this, Rix, because I thought this was cool, but her bracelets actually stunt her growth, or her power. Really? Right? So her her bracelets, when they get removed in the new universe, make her go into a berserker mode that is actually stronger than probably Superman. Yeah, it's insane. So a couple of cool things, obviously, with her outfit. We know she has the lasso of truth that basically can also compel anybody to tell the truth. But even better, it can also restore memories, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Right. The other thing as well is obviously we know she has a magical sword, which in the movie things happen, but
We'll get into that.
we'll get into that. But she's supposed to have a magical sword. Her tiara is actually supposed to be razor sharp, and because it's magic, can even cut Superman. All right. And acts like a boomerang, which is pretty cool. They changed her for the new universe, where before they didn't have this. So back in the All-Star days, they had her have the invisible jet, but in the new DC 52 Rebirth, all that kind of stuff, they made her just have flight, which makes sense, right? Last but not least, when it talks about, let's see here, invulnerability, flight, super speed, lost man, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Tiara, yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to her origins. Yeah, that was, yeah. So go.
Now it's my
Sorry.
time. It's my
Wait,
time.
before.
What? Oh, you're
Sorry, man.
Yeah,
But no.
excited.
Because you were saying that like back in the day, like in the 40s and stuff, that they were trying to inspire women to become. Actually, there was like a lot of controversy about like the lasso, and like they said it was like really sexual. People like were really against Wonder Woman at one point.
Oh yeah, it was pretty bad. One thing they did, so during World War II, where they had Wonder Woman being like the lead propaganda for women, you know, women can do this, women can be powerful, all that kind of stuff, right? They actually changed her. So when all the men came back from war, they made it so the men were stronger than Wonder Woman. Like you'd see her being saved in some instances, and it's like, wait, she can throw like 15 of you with one arm. Like, why are you holding her like she needs to be saved, right?
Yeah.
So they switched her roles a little bit because of, you know, United States propaganda, essentially, right? So works out that way. Yeah, James. It's James time. It's James time.
It's finally my time.
Mr. J.
Are you you got anything to say? No, I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Well, actually,
So, whoa. So really big shout out to my biggest fan. I just got word that he keeps saying hi to the screen. Hey Noah, thanks for watching, buddy. How are you?
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And I bet you he's saying it back to the screen right now.
Yes.
Yeah, every time. Okay, so basically what I want to talk about is a little bit of storyline accuracies, storyline inconsistencies, and storyline changes that we've seen based off of the new Wonder Woman movie, comparing it to, let's say, the comics and the 2009 Wonder Woman and Justice League War. So... do you not recall at one point, like near the start of the movie, the way that they panned out, they panned into Paradise Island and things like that? I turned to you and I said, my God, this is great. This is perfect. They are spitting images. And what I wanted to do was get a couple images together to kind of show how perfect this movie was done in regards to accuracy on screenshots and everything like that. But unfortunately, I could only find the one. Kelly, I don't know if you have it up. There's the scene with the ice cream, which I'll talk about, where it's like scene for scene, shot for shot, right out of the comics and out of the movies.
sorry, James. I don't know. Tongue twister there. Hope you don't mind if I jump it. Yeah, a little bit. But that's actually ripped right out of Justice League New 52 issue 4.
Yeah.
You actually see Wonder Woman. This girl drops her ice cream, and then Wonder Woman like points her sword at the guy, and she's, "I demand another."
Yeah.
And the guy obviously gives him a free one because
he's terrified.
Yep.
if I had a big point thing,
Sword
like,
to the neck. That was funny.
Perfect. So I mean,
She's very pleased with yourself.
yes, should be very proud that it's wonderful. So basically, the whole ice cream thing ripped right out of there. The birth by being molded out of clay and stuff like that. Perfect, dead on. But mostly the visual was literally. I was watching it and I could physically see the animated movie reflected onto the screen, which was perfect. And I really hope that they take that same vision and bring it into Justice League, because we need that. Some storyline changes though. Basically, Steve Trevor dies in this movie. Spoiler alert! Sorry. Hi everybody.
surprise.
So we think, and Trevor's going to get into that after. The major difference was his character itself. So when we watch the Wonder Woman movie from 2009, he comes across as a very arrogant individual who's always trying to pick up Diana. At one point, he tries to get her drunk, where we have a similar scene, which is really cool, in the movie, but they changed it. So instead of him bringing her to the bar once they arrive into the UK to try and get her drunk to take advantage of her, they have this scene after they've accomplished something.
Somewhere in France. It was in France. I think that
Right.
scene
Yeah,
was,
the
right?
scene,
Yeah.
right? So they are celebrating pretty much ending World War One, and instead of him bringing her to the bar to try and take advantage of her, they're standing outside of the bar, and someone I can't remember the guy's name.
Which one was it? The
French dude.
The brown guy.
Oh, the brown guy.
One of their
It
comrades.
says call me Sammy, but it's Samir.
Something
Yes.
like that. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
He brings them a couple beers, and instead of drinking them, they literally cheers, put them down, and then decide to slow dance.
Yeah.
So it was a little different in regards to that. But again, the main difference was his whole personality was completely different. I feel like this movie too had a lot of. They did a great job with the character development. You know, you felt for every single one of them. There was great connection between them as well. Nothing was choppy, and you can tell Patty Jenkins must have really loved Richard Donner's Superman, as she admits to being heavily inspired by it. We can see this in a few references in the movie. For instance, the scene where Diana saves Steve in the alley from getting shot.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a similar scene where in the Superman where Clark grabs the bullet from Lois in the alley. Same thing, paying homage to it. And then there was another one where Diana's holding her sword and shield, trying to get through the revolving door, and Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent gets the same issue in the revolving door in Superman. So really enjoyed those similarities.
And like in the movie?
The original one with Christopher Reeves, yeah.
Oh,
Christopher
Christopher
Reeves
Reeves.
gets caught
Oh,
in the
okay.
revolving door, and then in the Wonder Woman movie, she gets stuck with the sword and shield. So paying homage to that,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you have a couple more points, Trevor. But basically, that's what I got. Aside from, a couple side notes as well. Did you guys catch Zack Schneider in the trenches?
Yeah, the
in
trench in
No
No
Man's
Man's
Land?
Land.
He should
You
have.
missed it.
I didn't see it.
A really, really weird, interesting.
I really
You guys-
dislike him. I'm sorry.
And I got one really interesting fact that was pointed out in something I watched earlier today. So I don't know about Gal Gadot's range, and I think you mentioned something to me earlier about how you
Yep.
felt. Maybe she was. I'll let you get into that. But one really interesting fact was that on Themyscira, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Paradise Island?
That's pretty close.
You notice everybody kind of talked the same, but they talked the way that she did. So, wondering if this island is like off the coast of Israel or something, because Gal Gadot has an Israeli accent, and everybody who's an Amazon is talking with
Sounded
an.
French to me more than anything.
No, it's an Israeli accent.
Yeah.
Israeli?
And
Yeah.
everybody
I was gonna say, I thought
adapted to
French.
that
Yeah, I thought so,
because
French,
she
yeah.
physically couldn't change her accent. So
Really?
yeah, everybody.
all the
all
actors had to,
all the
like-
actresses had to. Even the little girl. So like we were talking
little
about
girl's
that little girl,
phenomenal.
who played a young Diana. Killed it. She was so
Yeah.
cute, like doing the fight scenes, or trying to mimic the fighting. But she even talked with that accent as well. So very interesting because she couldn't change her accent. So just a little
Yeah.
fact. Yeah.
And it's incredible too because child actors are so hard to work with because
Yeah,
they're
so
so
hard.
limited. So like the fact
Yeah.
that girl came out, like I don't know her name, and it sucks because we'll give her
Yeah.
a shout out. But some actually fun facts about Gal Gadot. Besides being Mrs. Israeli,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she was also in the Israeli Special Forces for a little bit.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know if
kidding.
you guys knew that, but yeah,
No.
because apparently it's part of the tradition there. You have to do some time, so she
Yeah.
has had some Special Forces training,
Wow.
so that would probably help her. I'm surprised that you didn't know that.
I did. That's
actually.
pretty sick, man.
Yeah.
She is so hot. My
Yeah.
God,
It just keeps
Like,
going
it's just
up
like,
and
whoo.
So she can kill you with a stiletto or a machine gun. So
She already killed me already because she stole my heart, and it's still like not in my
Aw.
chest right now. So,
Oh, for sure.
You see that video? A day in
Yo.
the life of Gal Gadot?
right?
Wow.
Oh man,
man.
I wish I was like doing that. I wish I was that person, like legit with the camera, just like. I was doing that the whole time watching the video. I was like, thank God this is first person.
Didn't she even just have a baby too? Like, wasn't she pregnant or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
Wow.
No, I don't want to hear that.
yeah, near the end of the
No.
yeah.
She might want to have more. You might have a
No.
chance. You might have a chance.
She's not allowed to be touched by any other man but me.
I think it's a fourth,
wait.
but anyway. But no, shit, good for her too for staying in shape and doing
Yeah.
some scenes, and like she also took some heat too. I don't know if you guys knew this. My girlfriend told me this, so because she's more into like the east side of it, like the celebrity news. That she was taking some heat because she went to premieres and stuff and flats and whatever. She just wanted to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Fuck, if I just had a
pregnant.
baby,
Yeah.
I'm wearing flip flops, my Adidas flip flops, and you're getting some sweats,
Yeah,
and
for
maybe a half-eaten hamburger while I'm coming out.
I'm
So
happy I showed up.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Exactly.
standing there with a pack of ketchup. I might ask you to give me it. So
Exactly.
like, good for her for doing that, and like it's good because she's gonna be a role model to women now. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
people are like, a lot of little girls are gonna see this. I hope my sister sees this movie and is like, fuck, I want to be like her because she is so badass,
Right?
And she's like, she cares, the compassion. You see, like when she wants to go see the kids, and even when, spoiler alert, when she goes back to the village after it gets gassed, and just how pissed off she is at Steve Trevor and everyone, but like, I could have stopped him. I could have stopped him. I could
Yeah.
have stopped him. That wasn't actually Ares, the person they're trying to, the German guy they're trying to stop. I didn't like Ares. I'm going to start off with my points like this. I did not like who played Ares. I see it's David Thewlis. He's not convincing as a villain. He's too old. Like,
You're just too old, man.
not even that he's too old. Like, it's a bad, like, for me, he's always going to be Professor Lupin from Harry Potter. Like, I was waiting for him to turn into a werewolf.
That's- yeah, I know he's from Harry Potter. I remember
I'm like, are they fighting in the moon? Like, how's he getting his powers? Like, he's like
Well, they said
hunching
that he
over.
adapts like the shape of the body or whatever of whoever he wants, and that he explains that he chose him because of the position that he was in. So, and did they not mention earlier that he's taken other forms or whatever? And he could, I don't know, some I can't remember now. But yeah.
Well,
But like, it
No,
was
I
just-
understand what you're saying.
I'm just like, really, like, Avada Kedavra, Voldemort, where you at? Like,
is he gonna turn into a werewolf at any point in time?
yeah.
I feel like he is.
But with like, I did like how you had no idea who Ares was.
Yes.
Until the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I knew he was Ares because of the internet.
Yeah.
It like everything's a
I
spoiler.
stayed away from it.
I actually, yeah, there
I
wasn't a lot of
stayed away
stuff
from it.
that I saw for this. I just literally paid attention to the two main characters that I saw was Chris Pine, Gal Gadot.
Can we
for the
talk
movie.
about that for a second too?
Well,
That's
before we go
something
in,
else
how
that-
about we get Ricks to
Sure.
start off with?
Yeah.
What did you think about the movie overall?
I thought it was a good movie. Just as a movie in general, it like the plot went well. Like it was very different than Batman v Superman. You know what I mean? Like
No need for a director's cut, folks. No need for a director's cut.
like they introduced the characters, they developed the characters very well. The plot went smoothly, and like you said, like how you don't know who Ares is until afterwards. I like how they did that, and they continued with like one villain that switches to another person rather than in Batman v Superman where they tried to have two villains, and like they had the first conflict with Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne, and then they switched it to
There's so many,
There
yeah,
was.
so many.
I was so pissed they showed Doomsday in the trailer.
Well, that's what I mean. Like when they switched
I would
it
have
to
been
Doomsday, like,
so pumped if like
if it was just
Doomsday just showed up. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is all the nerd. Sorry, I didn't mean to take
Yeah, no,
over.
no, it's fine.
But like, no, you're right.
yeah, like when they switched it from like one conflict to Doomsday, like it was just like where did that come from?
Yeah.
But with this, when they switched it to when they had Ares show up, like and like truly show up, and like how badass was it when he had his helmet and he like just carved
That
out
was
That
wild.
was fucking insane.
Yeah,
Oh man.
and it looks so comic book accurate too.
Oh yeah, like
They killed it.
the effects in this, like the visual effects in this movie is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Did you
All right,
find there was
I'm
some like
exploding. I'm sorry. Just on that point, I'm really sorry. Injustice, 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 injustice. Every single fight scene that Wonder Woman had was like ripped right out of a video game. You know when you play those
Yeah.
video games, see the action sequences, you're like, this needs to be a movie. That was exactly what I saw. Like Wonder Woman actually has a move in Injustice where she pushes you away, she pulls out her lasso of truth, grabs you, pulls you in, combo.
Scorpion.
Right? Like it was exactly, it's a scorpion move, right? So she does that. And Ares, oh, the way he like embodied Ares was just so awesome. The thunder, the lightning, the war, the monger.
See,
He
to
was
me,
just
I'm sorry, Trevor.
Yeah, sure.
sorry, but like Trevor was saying, like that wasn't really him. That was CG, right?
well, either
Like,
way, but I'm just
him
saying,
as
like
an actor,
the
like-
way they did that scene, it
Oh,
was
they
just
killed it,
strictly
yeah.
ripped out of a
let's
video
talk
game that I
about
loved
that
about it.
scene on Themyscira.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
you were
yo,
going nuts.
yes,
Oh,
it was
The
so
second they
sick.
shot the line off the rock and swooped in and
Boom, those Amazons, yo,
Unbelievable,
the girls
bro.
were dope.
Unbelievable.
You see the girls like shield,
jump off, flip, and then
like
three
that
arrows.
scene. I want that poster
Oh
on
my
my
God.
wall of her in that angle. Three, like that was perfect. Like that is,
Multi-purpose photo for him.
yeah,
I was-
big time. I don't care.
I was so pissed her aunt died though. Like that was such a solid character. Actually, fun fact: in Justice League, it was just confirmed the other day, the aunt and Diana's mother are going to be in it's some type of like flashback
Yeah, it's gonna be a
war
flashback
with the
scene.
Atlanteans, the Amazonian, and what is Hawkman's people called?
They're
Oh my god!
aliens,
It's
aren't
like-
oh my god! I know this.
You know what I mean? But apparently, if you pay attention to the trailer, you see like
It's funny you brought that
Yeah.
up
Flapping
because
away.
that is
Yeah.
like, so you remember how they talk about in the movie where she talks about a great war that Ares was involved with.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be possible reference that could be Darkseid because Darkseid was once banished from Earth at one point and the mother boxes were left behind, which could cause the conflict of why Justice League will be in play. And it could be that maybe they might come back to fight. They might not be. It's possible, but it's probably going to be a good flashback of when Darkseid first came to invade, and then the Amazons helped fought him off.
Yeah.
Right. So, and with the power with Ares as well. So
I'm just excited Robin White and Connie Nielsen are going to be back reprising their roles because they killed it. I thought that I might take a little heat for this one, but some scenes I struggled with Gal Gadot just because you could tell that she wasn't as experienced as the other actors.
yeah,
Like there were some
Okay.
times where you're like, I can't even say
fictional planet of Thanagar.
Thank you, Thanagarian.
Thanagarian.
Thank you.
There we go.
They're apparently going to be in that scene. But anyway, I just felt that she couldn't keep up with the likes of Steve Trevor, Chris Pine, Steve Trevor.
I thought she did a good job.
Well, you mentioned that in the movie, though. You said something about that. You mentioned when we were watching halfway through it. You're like, I feel like this is more of a Chris Pine movie than it is a Wonder
Yeah.
Woman movie.
Yeah, but not like I wasn't referencing Gal Gadot's actress skills. You know, like,
Yeah, fair
her
enough.
as an actor. I just felt like the storyline was more based on. It was a Wonder Woman story, but it was like more him.
He was a little more overpowering. I mean,
Yeah.
she did a great job playing a very naive individual like she's supposed to be, but
Mm-hmm.
at times you could tell the difference between her playing a naive person and maybe not as strong as an actress as his acting. But overall, I didn't mind it.
I just like when I was telling you that I felt like it was more of his story. I felt like the plot was more towards like it wasn't as much of her trying to find Ares as it was him trying to find that.
He was
dirt
kind of leading. He was kind of taking her by the hand and bringing her everywhere. And
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
more like about World War II and him trying to stop this poisonous gas, and and then at the end it was like, oh, here's Ares. Okay, let's do an Ares fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like I wasn't hating on her, like saying you're a shitty actor. I'm just saying like, you
Yeah.
could tell that.
no, you totally were.
That's it. Get out.
If she was here right now, that's what he'd say to her. You were a shitty actress.
I wouldn't probably be able to force. I would ha ho
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
ha
Yeah.
ho.
Fast and Furious.
Take my chances on
Can I be your
Han?
wand?
charges.
Yeah. Well, could I be your Han? Could I be Han?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that like I found that
that her?
sometimes you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
She's from Fast and
aspirin.
Furious. You remember
Yeah.
that?
That's like the first time I
Stop.
noticed her.
Yeah.
That's her?
Yeah.
Bro, how did you get this handprint? And she's like,
Whoa.
you know,
Mind blown.
yeah.
Trust, man.
Wow.
When they casted her, I was like,
Holy
oh,
shit.
I don't know, because
That's
she had like a
crazy.
heavier
Yeah.
accent back then, and I'm like, okay, I guess I can deal with it, right? And then when she was in the Wonder Woman outfit, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, that's
it's just too much. Like, and then you know,
Yeah.
this is actually her biggest role too. If you think about
Oh,
it too,
yeah.
right? This is her first major role,
Yeah.
as in like a major like
Yeah.
lead in a movie. So realistically, this is like, I personally think, and we were talking about this the other day, I honestly think DC just needs to bite their tongue and shut the fuck up and actually start taking the Marvel route and getting cast members that you don't have to worry about your salary cap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got all these actors that we've done in the last movies. And let's take a quick look at the ratings that we've had for the last movies, right? So we've had Man of Steel. We had Batman vs. Superman. And then we had Suicide Squad for the last big DC movies, right? Batman v Superman did 27% Rotten Tomatoes, right? Suicide Squad, 25%.
See,
right?
Forget Rotten Tomatoes.
like to the most part, I want to say fuck Rotten Tomatoes because
Yeah.
I went to the movies with two of my friends and my girlfriend, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. We thought it
But
was
I think it's
fun.
because-
Wait. Which movie?
Suicide Squad. Sorry,
Okay,
Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Squad.
Okay.
Suicide Squad. Because like, I think it could have been the pacing. It might have been the soundtrack. The soundtrack for the movie is phenomenal.
Soundtrack was awesome.
That could have kept me into it. Like,
That, I have to
when
agree with me
Black-
and James. We were all upon like
Yeah, we
we
were
were
about that
blaring
soundtrack.
heathens
Yeah.
like nobody's
Yeah.
business because that like and every time I'd blare it, I'd be like watching like freaking well, what's not Deathstroke? Wow, I can't remember his
Note?
name. No,
Oh.
wow,
Talking about
Will Smith's role. I can't remember his name.
Deadshot?
Thank you. Like I just felt like I was watching an entire montage of them just walking through the city
Yeah.
and just shooting stuff, right? And I'm like, that worked for me, right?
See,
But
my favorite scene from the movie is when Black Skinhead played and
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith pulls out the guns. He's like, "Oh, y'all jokers must be crazy."
Yeah.
and he just like annihilates
nuts
all
on
those
targets.
targets.
that
I-
was good. I didn't
Well,
like
speaking
I
him
of-
really
saying that.
enjoyed that. My
wait.
favorite scene was when Harley Quinn smashed the window and bent over and picked up whatever it was because I wasn't paying attention.
And she's like, "What? What's everyone looking?"
Is that
That's
what
what
she said? I don't know.
That's
I
what
was-
we do.
But
No.
speaking of just target shooting, because I know that like you're about to get your first, or you're like into that stuff, right?
Yeah, I got my restricted, non-restricted.
Yeah.
license.
And this is an open invite to like all you guys and Josh too, well wherever he is. But I'm gonna do a sniper course if you're down.
I'm so down.
It's $275. I couldn't believe how
I
cheap it
didn't-
was.
yeah, it's crazy. Where?
That's insane. At Silverdale,
What?
right?
I'm down.
It's I'll send you the link. It's TSA or no TDS Canada. I'll
Okay.
send you the link. But like I was checking it last night and I was like, I'm so down. So
Surprised
there's
you
okay.
messaged me.
I think I was at work looking it up. But
Fair.
there's a date in June, which is like in like 2 weeks, which like I got a text.
So, anyways, this is what I
June
back
and
on,
date in October. Sorry.
back on track. Basically, what I wanted to say before I was rudely interrupted from every single one of you bastards.
You're welcome.
I'm just kidding. Thanks, Trevor. It's all your fault.
Yeah, new guy.
I brought you here, and
Yep.
I got to deal with it. But no, this is what I really wanted to get the point across. What they need to do going forward with DC movies. I saw next to nothing on social media or anything like that. Leaks, whatever,
There wasn't
on the
much
Wonder
hype.
Woman movie.
Yeah.
There was not as much hype, but I mean, even from Zack Snyder, nothing, and it made for I didn't know what to expect. Whereas Batman v Superman, I had this whole theory, and then I was disappointed that they didn't follow the Dark Knight Returns thing. So it set you up almost for failure doing it that way. Whereas this movie, they didn't have that. So you go in as a blank slate for the most part, and you have a great time, and it was a great movie. They need to start doing that going forward.
They need to hire actors that are not really big people.
And we were talking about that. So the most successful
I'll play
movies,
Wally West. Sorry. If you're watching,
Yeah.
And then he's gonna play Wally West for Rebirth. I'm gonna play Wally West for 52. Right? Works out perfectly.
yeah.
There we go.
But yeah, no, that's forgot what I was gonna say. Fucking dicks. I'm out.
Okay. Well. Previously, I thought you said you were done.
I am. Go.
Okay, so in the past, like AJ's always been like, "Fuck the DC movies, they're dumb, they're whatever." Like the thing.
We're gonna
How do
watch
you
our
feel-
swearing. Noah's watching.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry, Noah.
sorry, but
I
okay.
talked to you.
We have a
But
swear jar.
After,
Yeah.
but after this movie, how do you feel about like?
So one thing I could definitely say with this movie, it inspired hope. It inspired realistic. You got hope, heroism, and love all in this movie, right? And when it came down to this what what? What are you laughing for?
I know. I just had this like flashback of when we were watching the Badman College Humor. It's like, oh, it stands for hope. Hope starts with an H, stupid.
What?
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I showed you the video.
So, anyways, one thing with all the DC movies, they were trying to go so dark, but like dark needs to be done properly, right? And when you go too dark, it's not fun to watch, right? And besides Batman vs Superman having a couple of like awesome scenes, like good
The
action
action scenes were
sequences,
amazing,
right?
in that
You
movie.
go to Man of Steel, and Man of Steel is pretty dark. Minus, you had a couple good action sequences that were pretty sweet. But then you get into Suicide Squad, and then Suicide Squad flips the script. But something that should have been dark, because that should have been the darkest out of all of them, decides to go super humorous, right? And you're like, oh, okay, so what happened, right? But then you get to Wonder Woman, and you get a healthy mix of everything. This was a really good all-around movie. There was good fluidity with the characters. The way, like you guys talked about how Gal Gadot, when she runs back to the village, when you see that rage and anger on her face, like I felt distraught for her. I felt like I was walking through that fog and like in that scene, because you can see the emotion in her face of like searching for any life. And when she sees everybody dead, you feel that little chill, like, oh my God, wow, those are like a small town just decimated, just taken off the face of the earth like that. I would
And then
feel
they're
her
like,
rage.
don't go there, that's no man's land. And she kills her.
Yeah, and that scene, like,
Best scene.
You know
of
what the best
fucking
part of all of that
movie.
was? And we were talking about it earlier. They didn't do anything super cheesy. There was no scene where it's like, that's no man's land, you can't. And then she turns to the camera, well, I'm a woman, not a man.
Yeah.
Love it. They just kept it simple. And even though you mentioned the whole maybe lack of acting strength, I still felt the emotion, which is my concern with Ben Affleck as Batman. He has the look as Bruce Wayne and Batman, but his acting skill just isn't coming across. I'm not feeling that emotion. You don't feel him being an old, weathered, disgruntled Batman.
he's Ben Affleck
He's
playing Batman.
Ben Affleck playing Batman. Whereas even though Gal Gadot doesn't have the acting experience as Ben Affleck, you still feel the emotion and you buy into it. Whereas I'm still waiting for that buy-in with him, and it's disappointing because everybody knows that's my favorite character, and I hated him when he was first casted until I saw the comparison to the animated series. Him as Bruce Wayne, it's dead on, and then him in the suit looks phenomenal. But man, just Ben, if you're watching, you're probably not. Call me, I'll give you some pointers.
That kind of ties into what AJ was saying about they should have actors that aren't really like well established.
Who's
you know?
been successful? Henry Cavill is Superman, phenomenal, and now Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Because they're able to devote themselves to the role.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Ezra,
Cyborg, I think, is going to look really good. I think he'll do well. Even though you were saying
he's a stage actor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a stage
this is
actor.
his first film appearance. So yeah, he's
He's going to destroy that role then.
Yeah,
He's
he's-
going to suck the juices of that till it's dry.
Have you seen him like doing any of his social media? He has a shirt out. It's sick. Borg Life, and how huge the man got. Like,
Yeah.
if you seen his training video, like
It's awesome.
I'm not a huge guy. I'm not a little guy. His arms are probably the size of me, literally.
That's
In-
big, eh?
That's
like
sick.
he just looks disgusting.
The only thing that really, really concerns me about him, well, it's not even him, it's the amount of CGI. You see these still photos and it just looks bad. Mm-hmm. Like, it's too much CGI. Live action, when it's moving around and stuff like that,
Might
you'd
be
probably
different.
be okay.
Yeah.
But to be fair, this guy's body is constantly evolving. Like, if you've watched him in Young Justice, you've read a couple of the comic books, this man pulls out freaking guns that are like this big off of one finger. Right? Like, so realistically, they
Hello.
have to have CGI.
Go Gadget.
Right? Yeah, he's like the ultimate Inspector Gadget. Like, it's crazy. So realistically, he's going to be a hugely CGI'd character. It does suck, right? Because they have evolved him over time where he's been more and more machine. Right? When they first had him, he was half machine, half human. Right? And then they've just evolved it so literally you only see maybe parts of him that are just, unless
It's
he
just like
takes
his
off
torso.
his
and
torso,
like one arm or something.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right? So that's going to be crazy. Ezra Miller as Flash. They show more of him in the Justice League trailer that you missed.
And you were...
Really?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you missed it. They show more of him in it, and you see him running side to side. You see a couple
Yeah,
more throws
pretty
with his
cool.
lightning. You see like more happening. It's
And
a lot
AJ's
better.
now starting to love him. When
I'm
he first
actually
dated
really
him.
liking him, and I wasn't on board with him before.
He is
No.
a phenomenal actor. Have you watched? We gotta talk about Kevin.
No.
So this probably, it's like a couple years older, but it's probably the first movie I saw Ezra Miller in before I saw Perks of Being a Wallflower, which he was really good in as well. But
Those are two movies I haven't seen, but I saw the movie with Amy Schumer.
that
I didn't like-
Amy Schumer
Amy
sucked.
Schumer.
Amy
Yeah.
Schumer was in it. Why were you watching? Sorry, why were you
Well-
watching it?
Yeah.
I was seeing it because the
Yeah,
girl
but he
that
was
wanted
only like in
yeah.
it for like what, 5 minutes?
He was in it a little bit longer. He was in it a little bit longer because he was the assistant. in
So
that-
the
in
only
that movie,
thing that
so-
I've seen him in is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, being that little creepy weirdo. And I was
He was
like,
great.
whoa.
He did. I thought he was phenomenal. I love Harry Potter though, so you could put a wand in the
No,
movie.
but like his character itself. The movie was good. I liked it.
That's
The movie was
awesome.
good. But he was a
We gotta have Harry
weirdo.
Potter segment. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But with you, we gotta talk about, or there's something about talk about Kevin or whatever. If I said the name of it earlier, I just butchered it.
Whatever.
But his mom, from what I remember, is remarried or dating this new guy, and he is not having any of it, and he goes psychotic, and he's trying to kill him, and he's doing like all these other things.
What's this?
It's we gotta talk about Kevin. It's with Ezra Miller. I
Oh,
recommend it.
wow.
It's like a thriller, and you like he's younger in it. He's like it looks like he's 13, 14, but like you see him from the perspective of his mother and of his stepfather. All the crazy shit he's doing, and all the stuff that mom sees. Like he's a sweet boy, and he nails both sides of the coin perfectly.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, I think
So he's got depth as an actor, even though you virtually don't know who he is.
Yeah, like when I first saw him, I was like, why is this Mexican the Flash?
Oh, in Batman v Superman,
Sorry, like,
the
yeah.
Superman scene.
I was like, why is this dirty?
Why did they put all that in that movie? Whatever. Moving on.
We can't talk about that.
So anyways.
We've made a problem every single time you bring up Batman v Superman. We lose 10 minutes of life.
Okay.
To me. Okay?
So
and now that
anyways.
he's here,
Yeah.
it's going to be 20 minutes, if not more.
Yeah.
So before we segue into all of that stuff, questions.
Yes.
Actually, well,
You have some
Trevor has a
questions.
whole bunch
I
of
have a-
questions
I have
relating
a-
to Justice League universe. So
And I have answers.
let's do this.
Before I drop my questions on you, I just want to bring up a couple points that I found when I was doing my research, my homework. Did you know the Godslayer in the comics isn't Wonder Woman's sword? It's actually Deathstroke's.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yep.
I love it. His sword is like pretty much indestructible. That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
That's actually all I got. But so
Well.
this is like a theory that I saw online. I want to run by you guys. So remember when Steve Trevor's in the bathtub and it's like glowing blue?
Yeah.
And
It was more of a like
Like a hot
hot
spring.
tub.
Yeah.
Hot spring. Yeah. Yeah.
could
Bathtub.
this
Is that what
could,
you're thinking about? You're thinking about him in the bathtub in this scene?
yeah, we think it just hit the table. So what?
Knew it.
I'm blushing. So there was a theory out there that was the DCEU's Fountain of Youth. Like James said earlier, he died. He went kaboom. And they're saying that could be a way he comes back again.
That was one of your questions, I think.
No,
Actually,
that kind of makes sense because
Yeah.
like that was right after his crash and the battle, right?
And it has been mentioned in the DC comic universe that there is another Lazarus pit.
I don't think
Okay.
that was a Lazarus pit.
No, like another type of Lazarus. is
Exactly.
what
Okay.
he's
So like
saying.
it could be have reference to that. They might call it something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like
Son
Lazarus
of
pit.
Youth.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was actually one of your questions. How will Steve Trevor return? I also have another theory. I have a feeling that Steve Trevor is dead. Okay, and I think what we're going to see is an alternate version from the multiverse. Thank you, Barry Allen.
Well, to elaborate more on that theory.
Sorry, I don't want to like my opinion on this. Sorry, because short and sweet. It's not the CW, and you know how Barry
People
likes,
actually-
you know it's Barry's pastime, right? Besides doing Iris, he also does the timelines.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the character is dead. They're probably done with him.
No, I don't think
He's got
so.
a
don't think so?
multi-picture
I
deal.
don't think they're done
Oh,
with
does
it.
he?
Yeah, they got multi-picture
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind then.
Yeah,
So-
they signed him, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I think something else because I just finished watching something earlier today, and it talks about how God supposedly come back. So Ares technically isn't dead. One thing what they do with the DC universe with all their gods after they get killed, they kind of dissipate and they get reborn as a baby, right? So what I'm thinking is maybe not necessarily kind of going on with your saying where he comes back as like another version of himself. It could probably very well be the same version but in a different timeline. Right, like so
Maybe.
later on when she's older, she's in the like present time. It's just a reincarnated version of the same character,
Maybe.
right? So it's not necessarily. It might not have any magic to do with it. It might not have any godly thing, but it could be, because we're looking at what 40 years
Yeah.
since then. It could be like his great grandson, named the same way.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so they're just like, oh, I'm Steve Trevor the Fourth, actually, if you really want to get down to it. But
Yeah.
Steve Trevor, hey, what's up?
But have the exact same actor play him? That's
Yeah,
weird.
oh yeah, why not?
Well, if you
Four
think of it-
generations down.
Yeah.
Well, he
Give
didn't
him a scar. Make
like,
him look cool.
He didn't have any kids in the movie.
That we know of.
Okay.
World War One was very,
Oh,
very
he's got kids. He's got
Right.
kids. He's got kids.
Right, it was very notorious for beforehand them just doing it like rabbits and then
And then
going
going
off
to
to war.
war, yeah.
Right, so he could have had someone back home that he had fun with and then
Mm-hmm.
diddle off, right? Or before he met her, maybe he diddled with someone else beforehand, right? Before he got into that
Secretary.
plane, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things he could have done, right? Like he clearly wasn't a bad looking dude if he got an Amazon to sit there and be all over him. Like, come on, right? He said even like there's tons of other guys she could have picked, but then boom.
Yo, did you
she's
guys
on
see
him.
that meme that's going around right now? It's like, I want someone to look at me the way that Gal Gadot looks at Chris Pine, and she's in an interview and she like literally eyes him and bites her lip. It's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
yeah.
You guys watch Futurama?
I haven't watched in a while,
Not
but
in
yeah.
a long time.
No.
In
You remember the
years.
episode where they go to the Amazonian planet and like they get
Yeah, like-
arrested for something, and they're like, "Your punishment is death by snoo snoo," and they're like,
Yes, I do remember that episode. Death by Snoo Snoo.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember
And
that
Fry
reference.
and
Yeah.
Zap Brannigan, they're like, yeah, oh, yeah, oh. And like the one alien guy gets away, and like you just like see over in the corner all these skeletons with their pelvises destroyed because the Amazonians are like 3,000 times the size of them.
Oh man. So yeah, Steve. I mean,
Steve,
Trevor. You got. You see, Trevor is the name, and Steve Trevor. It just confused me. My bad. You have a bunch of questions you were talking. You wanted to hit us with. So let's bring them on. Let's see what we got.
All right.
So we got one down. Yeah. What do you got next?
So my next, what do you guys think of Matthew Vaughn potentially directing Man of Steel 2 and the Flash movie?
So, in case, do you know who Matthew Vaughn is?
Nope.
He directed Kingsman.
X-Men First Class.
Oh, fuck this.
I was just about to say that.
You haven't seen Kingsman?
No, we keep talking
haven't
about
seen
we talked about
No,
this.
you
done?
haven't seen
You
Kingsman. I
haven't
watched
watched
it
it?
again last week. Like, it is such a good movie. You need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
was-
is the
you know
James
what-
Bond
you know
of our
what's
time.
funny about it is that like the last time it came up, my brother doesn't watch this because my brother doesn't support me. Anyways,
Thanks.
but anyways, like
you.
okay, so like literally like maybe like 2 or 3 days after you brought it up and said you got to watch Kingsman, my brother brought it up. And he was like, "You haven't watched Kingsman? I love that movie."
Such a good movie.
So good. So well
so
done.
good movie.
I
And like
think-
the main actor, the guy who plays the kid, who comes in as what did he come in as? He does take Lancelot. He takes another one. Anyways, but whatever. The kid who plays in the main role, it's his first live action like full role.
Then he went to
This guy
Eddie the Eagle.
walked on set and pretty much got that role. Like it's huge, and the
awesome.
caliber of acting in that movie was just like. And the next one that's coming out, you got Channing Tatum, you got Game of Thrones, you got freaking Jeff Bridges, you got so many good actors in this next movie. It's gonna be insane.
Can we talk about the guy who plays Eggsy as Red Hood, potentially?
Please, that'd be great.
Can
That'd be
can
perfect.
that be a thing?
Yes,
Plays who?
that's the guy.
From
Eggsy.
Kingsman?
That's his name. I couldn't remember his name.
I can't remember the actual actor's name. It's like Taron Edgerton or something. I butchered it again
Yeah.
for watching, which you're probably not. Sorry.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
We'll be interviewing you.
Well, I mean, so not only did he do the Kingsman, but he was successful rebooting the X-Men universe.
Yep.
First
So
class.
that's huge.
Because he probably would have directed the sequels too if Bryan Singer wasn't like, oh, that's still a thing. I was good at that, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because he did the X-Men First Class, right?
which was awesome.
It was awesome. I actually really liked it because I was hoping they were just going to go that route and just rebuild the franchise, and then they crossed
Yeah.
universes. I was like, "Ah."
That's when you lost me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like the crossing of the universes.
Well, that's probably just a reason.
The
to get Hugh Jackman in
storyline.
it.
I didn't like the storyline. Because what'd you say?
It's probably just a reason to get Hugh Jackman to take a shirt off or be in it.
Again, thank you. That's exactly another reason why I didn't like the reboot.
Really?
Right, like later on, was because they brought Hugh Jackman in. The best scene that I've ever seen Wolverine in was the scene where they both go in to ask him to join, and he's like, "Fuck off." I was like, "Thank you. There's Wolverine. It's about
Finally,
time. It
finally.
took us
Thanks
7
for coming
years.
out.
Like that 2 seconds was his
Speaking
role.
of, since we have Trevor here, I want to settle something later.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, if we have time.
Pin in that.
What do you got
Yeah,
next, Trevor?
So you guys are aware that Justice League's is going through reshoots right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently it's going to run from beginning of June, so they're doing it now, to the first or second week of August. So it's 6 to 8 weeks of reshoots.
Oh wow! I didn't think it was
So-
that much. That sounds like a lot of stuff is
Yeah.
getting changed. Yay! Sorry.
So there's 3 questions in here.
Excitement boner.
That's what hit the table. It wasn't me this time. It wasn't me this time.
Sorry.
My first question is, will Josh Whedon change the whole tone of it? Will we see more quipping? Will we see more lighthearted moments? Will it feel too much like an Avengers movie? That's the first question.
Well, I already felt like that watching the Justice League trailer that came before Wonder Woman. I noticed there was more. Like I said this before,
More
Aquaman
humor.
is too humorous that I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to humor, Flash, Green Lantern, and I know we don't have Green Lantern, which is why they're probably using Aquaman to substitute the humor. But Aquaman is supposed to be a dick. He's supposed to be stoic. He's supposed to be regal because he's the king of a throne.
Yeah, he's supposed
right?
to be very like what's the word? Prestigious, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
very like
arrogant. Very arrogant, right? And he doesn't come off as arrogant in this movie. He comes off of like a funny
don't know
jokester
that.
kind of
The
character.
movie's not out
Listen,
yet.
No, I mean,
You don't
like,
know that
like,
yet.
at least from the trailers.
From the trailers,
You know what I mean? He's joking around. He'll
Look at-
dress like
okay,
a bat.
look.
I can dig it.
Here's the thing. So when you put out a trailer, look at Suicide Squad. Perfect example. They had what, like 3, 4, 5 different trailers or whatever, and each one made the movie appear to be a completely different tone than it actually was from that trailer.
Yeah.
So we don't know. We said
Yeah.
a couple things. You're right, though. I so far don't like how he sounds so
Even
far.
the
but we'll
Power
see.
Rangers trailer, like the first one, like seemed very like serious
Yeah.
and dark. The second one seemed like it was like almost like
Very
back to like childish.
popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
And then when the
trailer
movie
was
came out, it
perfect.
was a perfect balance of both.
Every
So-
trailer
The
was
movie
perfect.
did not do any wrong.
That movie was.
You should have heard this. You
They
should
did
have
one
seen this
thing
guy.
wrong. They did one thing wrong, and I told AJ this today. Tyrannosaurus. What
And he's-
was that?
And he didn't. And he for record, he also said Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
For any one of those, original
Yeah.
fans, you would know that Stegosaurus didn't exist till like Dino.
I was
Charge.
4 when I watched
Saying-
it, and I was like, "Ooh, horn thing! Oh,
You were
pointy
4?
thing. Yeah,
I know.
Oh,
I know, right?
Oh my god.
I know exactly how you feel. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
But going to your Aquaman question,
Yeah.
point. They just started filming Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some pictures of Amber Heard and everything, and apparently Aquaman is going to be an underwater horror movie, which is pretty cool.
See, I would rather them do that first, then come up with Justice League, just so he can get all that arrogance out of the way, right? So I can see his arrogant side and all that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden they kind of bridge the gap with him and Justice League,
That'd be
where,
cool.
and then that's when he's like, okay, maybe I should stop being so arrogant, crack a couple jokes, that kind of stuff, because that would work out for me, right? And that just watching that transition, as
Okay, hold
opposed to him
on.
coming off.
No, hold on. Look at the trailer and how it starts. It shows Bruce finding him, and he comes in, kicks the door and whatever, throws him against the wall. He's not that comedic person that.
Well, yeah, he does, because he throws the guy
No.
down. In the trailer, he throws a guy down on a chair, takes his bottle of whatever of alcohol, and
Jack
goes,
or whatever.
"It's on him," and walks
Whatever the
out.
product placement was.
We don't know.
Yeah, but
we
the
don't
product
know
placement
when
ones,
that is though. But from that first teaser trailer, though, he's a completely different person. Rewatch it. I'm telling you.
Okay.
See, what I think is going to happen, this is my theory. I feel like he's going to be very distant at the beginning of Justice League. He has his powers. He doesn't want to have his powers. He helps out if he has to.
And that I can dig. I can dig that.
So I
because
feel
that is
like-
exactly like Throne of Atlantis.
Yeah, and-
Exactly.
Right. So that's fine. I can dig that.
But then I feel like Mira's going to start popping up and be like, you got to come to Atlantis. Like, it's your birthright. It's this, it's that. And he's like, I don't want to. This is stupid. Nicole Kidman's my mom, I guess. But, like...
And she touches him in places, and he's weak in the knees. Kryptonite.
Why do you think the water's so salty? So...
Nice.
Now, with that being said, I feel like the tone of that movie is going to be darker because he's finally embracing his role and he's going to transform into that character. I feel like he's going to start off as like, haha, and then eventually become what you want to see. That's how I think
Okay,
it's
fair
going to go.
enough.
Okay.
Just to add to that joke, there's a lot of sand probably in her vagina.
That one's a little less subtle.
No, that was actually perfect. That was like, because we're talking about water, beach, ocean, sand. Might as well throw that in there too.
Okay, we're almost out of time, and I really, since you're here, I really want you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
label him as like our judge for this. 'cause
Wait, before we get, I gotta see these more
Wait.
questions. Let's continue
Okay,
going.
okay,
Who
okay.
cares? Let's do this. I want to see more, and then we're gonna get to that question because I know what you're gonna ask.
Should Warner Brothers delay Justice League because of these reshoots to give them more time to properly
Yes.
edit?
No way. I
think
want
they
it
should-
now.
I
want
think
it
they
now.
Wait,
I'm
yeah.
gone.
I want it now.
I think they should do some character development before Justice League.
I
So
agree.
wait, you're saying they should just put out origin movies and
Not
delay
or-
that much, or just?
Whoa,
Not the
that
origin
sounds like
movies,
a
but-
Marvel initiative. Whoa, what are you saying? Is that done right, James? Is that what it sounds like to me?
You don't. You're telling me that you don't see potential now. I know you're a Marvel fanboy and you like all that, but after this
Flash man.
movie,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
right?
Don't worry.
Right?
Don't
You
worry.
don't see potential now. You don't have
Okay.
any hope.
Oh, he just said.
I said if
A
they
glimmer.
continue the tone of what they did for Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
we will have good movies.
See, are
Hopefully.
you saying that you want the same tone throughout all the movies?
Why not?
I want different tones
Yeah.
for each movie. I
Different
want
tones.
the
Because
Flash
the
movie to be
characters are different.
hilarious. Yeah, I want like because it's
Okay.
Barry Allen.
You want
right?
the same tone for Barry Allen
Yeah, he's gonna be funny. He's gonna be ready. He's gonna be great.
as Wonder Woman. I'm saying.
Wonder Woman had a great clash of a little bit of dark, a little bit of humor, but again,
Yeah, but
Heroism.
that works for her.
hope.
for her. Yeah.
But
Right?
all these characters from DC, if you look back in the original comic settings, They're all symbols of hope. They're all symbols of heroism. They're all symbols
but-
of... What did I put down there? Love. Like, there's one more I'm missing.
But like Trevor was saying, like Aquaman's gonna be like an underwater horror movie. That
yeah, but
sounds
he's still
awesome
gonna.
to
But
me.
he's still gonna eventually get into the.
Trenchers. I'm saying trenchers.
Trenchers?
Trenchers. I read Aquaman, the first couple of like issues of the New 52.
Mm-hmm.
Do yourself a favor, boys. Go home and read about the trenchers.
Yeah,
Some dark, scary.
but he still has a little bit of humor in there.
Yes, I
Right,
know.
he still has. He obviously inspires hope with his squad and his whole
Yeah.
whole city and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And he also shows love because he has mirror, right? Batman even is known to give out a couple of love jokes, right? Smile here
No
and
one wants
there.
to see that shit.
Yes, they
Shout
do.
out to Batman. He just got engaged.
Right?
Yeah.
He just got engaged to Catwoman,
Wow,
which
that
is
worked
huge, right?
That worked perfectly.
You segued me into it.
Wow, that was perfect. He was on the way up here. We should mention that. Shut up.
James is like,
found
no.
it. He found it a way in. Okay.
Come on, think about it, man.
That
You
just
watch
means
Young
she's gonna
Justice.
die.
Oh, it's not a young
Selena
Justice
Kyle's
movie.
gonna die.
Dude,
now.
it works.
Batman's never gonna be
the
happy.
formula works.
No.
We do not want to see an overly
You want
brooding
Justice?
Batman.
You don't want to see the angry, disgruntled. I'm gonna do this myself, and then the team be like, "Oh, what's his problem?" You don't want to see
No,
that.
because they're gonna sit there and be like, "We'll
Justice League
overpower
Doom.
you."
You don't want a Justice League Doom kind of scenario.
Okay, but Justice League Doom even had humor in it. It even
Yeah,
had a
but it
lighter
doesn't
tone.
have
It
to
wasn't
have it.
dark.
But Batman was kind of his own man. It's
Okay,
who he is.
But
It's what we like.
DC Rebirth. You've been reading DC Rebirth
Go
with Batman.
watch a fucking Avengers movie. Get out of here.
No, but you're reading.
Oh
You're
my God.
okay. No, you should be able to contest this even more with Rebirth.
As
They're
long as
making
the
him a lot of a
Flash
lighter
doesn't
character,
turn into Swiss cheese
Sure.
by the end of Justice League like Quicksilver did, I'll be fine.
right?
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that.
That's a waste of
That was a
character.
waste, super waste of
Tell
a
me,
character.
You like Batman?
I love Batman.
Do you want to see him like cracking jokes and being lovey-dovey, or do you want
Like
to see him...
1960s Batman? No, not really.
Okay, whoa, that's a bad comparison.
Come on, man.
What I
Adam
mean,
West doing the dance.
what I mean, like, is
Yeah,
I don't want him to be always angry,
his suit's gonna have eyebrows.
right?
But he's always angry.
But he's not.
Yeah, he is.
They bring back
He's-
the bat nips.
He's not he's not always angry. He's just very in his own world.
When he's
Right?
no, when he's got like the cowl on, he's always angry.
But that's what they made him out to be recently, right?
Man,
like they made him
Justice League Doom, Justice League War. Everybody's at the table joking around. He's like, "Guys, we need to prepare for this. Like, get
He's
your
always
shit
ser-
together."
yeah.
He's
Yeah,
always serious.
but not always angry. Is what I'm trying to say. There's a difference between angry and
He's-
serious.
Over prepared.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at Batman. He's got a contingency plan for everything.
Exactly.
definitely.
Right, but there's a difference between like he's overprepared and stuff like that. But like some of the comments that he makes towards Green Lantern and things like that.
Yeah, no,
he's
you're
kind of
right.
like, whoa, like, okay,
He's always intimidating.
But let's
You
go
know?
take-
Dimmer the
intimidating.
light. Turn yourself like one shade green down. Pretty much, right? That's what you're getting at. Like,
Yeah.
I get where you both are coming from.
He doesn't need to be always like, "Oh my god, somebody boo-booed in my cornflakes." Like we don't need that all the time. We can have a serious Batman where he's like, "Everybody needs to be serious. Everybody needs to do this. You need to make sure you're doing your properly
And
planned."
this
that
is
kind of
my
stuff.
concern because even the scenes that they show in the trailer with Gal Gadot and thing, he's
Where he
just
cracks a joke.
yeah, it's like
What was the
man,
joke?
I'm not
Something
feeling
about,
it.
Oh,
My
you're
turn?
Batman.
No,
I
he
am
was
when
like-
it's
he was
relevant or
like-
something like that.
Oh, it's
Or she was like, "Is he
No,
on
no.
board?" And he's like,
Is he
"Kind
on
of."
board?
kind of.
Kind
Oh
of, sort
yeah.
of, yes.
Is that
kinda,
no?
Sort of, no.
No,
I think-
he's not on board.
I think Batman's going to be the guy who brings the team together. And
He
it's like,
is.
Okay, this is our common
Yeah.
goal. Let's just get Superman, and then
Oh yeah, that's what he's doing.
he'll
Oh,
win.
yeah.
We'll-
They even
we'll
show
win.
they even show him like trying to recruit Aquaman, right? Like,
Oh, he says when you're relevant, when it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're Batman when it's relevant. Sorry, and then he
So-
says, I heard Arthur Curry. I heard you talk to fish.
I don't like that.
I heard you talk. He does say something like that. I heard you talk to fish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he makes that's when he throws him into the wall as he says it or something like that.
So my next question is: we all know there's no Wonder Woman stinger.
Mhm.
If you could put a Wonder Woman end credit scene in there, what would you put in it and why?
Well, Justice League is next, so I'd want to have some sort of contact with Bruce.
Well, we had that with the Wayne Enterprises suitcase and stuff like
Yeah.
that near the end. Of the
No, that was just that. No, it was at the start.
Okay, so one thing, if you pay attention, like you pay attention a little more accurately, it's only months since Batman's or death of
About 3 months.
About 3 months, exactly. So in that time, she's obviously back in France, yada yada, and then he gives her the picture. if you remember the subplot from Batman vs Superman, she was superly concerned with Lex Luthor having that picture, and then so when he sits there and decrypts it and all that kind of stuff and sends it to her, he's like, "Look, I got the files. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about him basically knowing the information." Right? That was something that was pretty cool for her. And one of the things, you remember we were asking what was written at the bottom of that note. Looks like an interesting story. I can't wait for you to tell me sometime.
Yeah.
Right. And if you look into part of the trailer of Justice League, they're having a bit of a conversation that as well. She could easily be telling that story before she asks where are the others, right? So she can kind of be giving that a little bit of elaboration.
Okay, so what do you think the stinger should have been?
I think the stinger would have been something having to do with something that leads into either Aquaman, right, or at least tease at one of the other characters that we have from Justice League.
Just picture under the sea. Under the sea.
Like Ariel comes out and but either have something that like could possibly tease at those characters. If not tease at those characters, maybe introduced Ezra Miller at some point. We could have had her, you know what would have been kind of cool, cheesy, when she was jumping off, maybe have a quick streak run off and you would have been like, whoa, who's that? Right?
Yeah,
that could have been something there kind of cool. I thought it was kind of cheesy the way she like runs off. I always half expected her to open again. I guess it must have been a homage to Superman because legitimately all she had to do was just open her shirt, which would have been beautiful, and then have her jump off. Right? So I was like, okay, that can work. But post credit scene, there's really not much you could do. What do you think?
What would mine be?
You could have had her like coming off an airplane and then it says Gotham. You could have just like
That could have been something there, yeah.
hinting
That
that
would've been
she's meeting with Bruce Wayne. You could have had I don't know, like you could have had her. I like the idea with a streak. That's cool.
Yeah.
There's so many different things.
Yeah.
Just something that would hint at the next movie.
Or actually, post-credit beautifulness. I just thought about this now. Okay, she's in an office. You notice how she has all of these artifacts in her room? Mm-hmm. Why not have one of them be the mother box? And when she's out of office, boom, explodes or opens up.
Why would she have a mother box?
Why wouldn't she? It is said that during the whole lore of Darkseid invading Earth, he leaves mother boxes, and she's been in and around since the 40s. Right, so why not have an artifact that she has no idea what it actually is, or given to her by?
And she thinks it's just some antique artifact. Or
exactly,
whatever.
And it just happens to be there, or it's encased in some other shit that's just there, and then you see it start to glow, and you just see it glow, and that's it.
What do you think?
Mine? Okay, so I like how this is like leading into what I'm saying. I like how you haven't seen anything from Superman in the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
What I would have liked to see is just they show Clark Kent's grave. That's all you see. It goes black, and you see two red eyes, just symbolizing he's back. You know what I mean? Just like
nothing to do with her even.
Nothing to do with her leading.
So here's the thing. This is why I don't like that, and this is why I like the fact that there was no post-credit scene. I love the fact that they strictly kept it in almost, I guess, like an origin story for Wonder Woman. Leave it alone, independent film. So I think it would have actually been a negative thing if they would have had anything to do with any of the other characters.
Well, and that's why I said the mother box is still kind of subtle. Because
being in her thing, like even show her walking away, and then it just kind of boom, it's there.
It's there. You want to just have her like
I'm
close
okay
it
with
because that one it's not completely tie-in, but
it's there.
Anybody who knows will know. Right?
I like that idea.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of glad that they kept it out.
I'm just would have thought it would have been cool, like you just see black, right? It could even be Darkseid's eyes. You know what I mean? Because he's got the red piercing eyes.
Yeah, the Omega beams.
The Omega beams.
Yeah. Rix, you're gonna say what you think?
No, I was just agreeing. Just like that's a good idea.
That would have been my bad. The other thing they could have done too. Actually, kind of killing your theory. If you watch Batman vs Superman, if you notice the rocks on top of his grave, they do lift up a little bit, right? So like they've kind of already hinted that he's still alive, that he's going to come back.
Here's my problem. I was watching some stuff online, and they're basically saying that the time between Batman v Superman and Justice League is going to be about a year or 3 years. I can't remember what it is, and it bothers me that I think they said it's going to be about a year. How is he buried for a year, and then already at the funeral you're going to see the rocks? Like, what's going on with that?
No.
Okay, we're getting the sign saying
getting
that
the
time's
boot.
up.
You guys can keep going. I'm just telling you how long you are.
Okay.
Okay.
cool.
Well, okay. So
Yeah,
I just want to bring one thing up.
All right, so let's
here
go.
it is. Okay, so in a previous episode, actually in a couple of previous episodes, me and AJ have argued about Wolverine's powers with his claws.
Oh my god.
Okay.
This again.
Yeah, definitely. So,
I said you weren't wrong, and I said I wasn't wrong. Both our ideas have been in the comic book timeline.
No. The last thing you said was, excuse me, what was that? Was it when what's his name? The other guy you work with. What's his name again? I'm trying to blank.
Which one?
Nick?
Okay.
Nick.
Yeah, when Nick Zamora, he was like, Nick
Shout
said,
out to Nick Zamora.
Shout. But Nick said something like, okay, some Wolverine facts, blah, blah, blah. The claws aren't actually a part of his powers. And you were like, excuse me, what was that? Can you repeat that again? And you had this like...
I did have a smile because it's mentioned in the past.
But the way that you said it, you were like, yeah, see, I told you it's not... Even after the show, you were like, I told you it's not part of his powers.
Because I said somewhere in the books they did say that it wasn't part of his powers. Then they
you said-
incorporated it later.
But you were saying like it was a rewrite. I'm saying it's not. That it was always a part of his powers.
Sorry, what's the question?
So the question is no. So the bare question is Wolverine's claws a part of his powers?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Just from the adaptations of Wolverine that I've seen and read, it was in his healing factor accelerated the growth of his bones, and that's why he can control them and they can proceed in and out. The adamantium part of it is not; it's a gift.
Yeah.
Not really a gift.
Yeah.
But I think yes.
I take it.
No, and I completely agree with
Please.
that. And I completely agree with that because I went and I looked up, like, this is almost a year ago we looked up this whole origin, right? And one of the parts it talks about before they started fully diving into writing his character, they made it that it was a glove that he would have his claws come out of, right?
The original artist, the original writer,
Yeah.
intended for that, but it was never part of his
Exactly. And then they changed it
No,
for
but
the comic books.
But it was never a part of his glove, though. It was like his character never had a glove with claws in it.
Okay, but if you look at the pictures where they have old Wolverine, he has claws that were part of his gloves,
Okay.
right? This is like ages ago before they went with continuity stuff and they made it part of his mutation. And I
God
said, that's what I'm
damn
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not saying you're wrong and I'm not saying I was wrong. I was saying both of us do have some point in time. Like, you're more right than I am, 150,000%,
Okay.
because it was only like a couple of stuff that was written that talks about it,
Is
right?
that settled now?
Okay, it's settled.
He just wants to know he's
All
right. That's exactly it. And I'm telling you, I'm like, you're not wrong. I'm not telling you you're wrong. I was actually agreeing with you that it's right. I'm just saying that in the beginning, before they started going into his character, they made it, like, before that, when they were talking about his characters, when they said, oh, maybe we should make it part of his, not part of his claws. We should make it like a piece that kind of attached to him, right? And then when they started writing his character, like, no, we're going to make it part of him, right? When they first showed up in Hulk number 4, they weren't part of his mutation at that time. And then they rewrote him to that later.
It's more of a plot twist.
Exactly.
Not
It was. Oh no,
rewrite.
you're right, because they never actually explained where his claws were in the first little bit. They
They
eventually,
said,
yeah.
Originally, they said like, yeah, they were his claws were like given to him.
Yeah.
They were like when the adamantium was given to him, the claws were given.
Exactly,
To him.
and that's I
But
remember.
then
Yeah,
then they discovered that when
it was
both
all
claws-
part of his
yeah.
whole entire mutation all along. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. So,
Anyways,
yeah.
Did you have another
I
question
have
or
one
two?
question that's leading into. It's not DC related, it's MCU related. I saw AJ's like eyes light up completely.
I'm wearing a Batman shirt. Just saying, guys. Like,
You
hey.
shouldn't. You're not worthy of that shirt.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
So Spider-Man's coming out, Homecoming.
Yep.
Love Spider-Man, huge fan. Reading a lot of his books right now. Do you think there's too much RDJ in Spider-Man?
What do you mean RDJ?
Do you, like
Robert
Robert
Downey
Downey Jr.
Jr.
Do you think?
Oh.
Do you think it's gonna be Spider-Man? Do you think it's gonna be a Spider-Man movie, or do you think it's gonna be an Iron Man movie? Because the way the trailers push it across to me and a lot of people I've talked to, not a lot of people that I like in my friends and family aren't that big. Not a big fan of Iron Man. Everyone was Team Cap. Like they think he's too pretentious. Like he plays his character too well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they don't like the arrogance or whatever. I want to see Peter Parker. I want to see what he goes through and everything. Do you think that even with the suit? Welcome, Peter. You have.
Hate that.
You know what I mean? Are they making it, are they trying to mold him into the next Iron Man? Kind of like there's a lot of questions in this question.
So you've read the comics.
Yep.
You know what they're basically insinuating.
What,
right?
Iron
Scarlet
Spider?
Spider.
Not just Scarlet Spider. So one of the
Oh, it was
biggest
Iron
reasons
Spider.
why we needed to have Spider-Man back in the universe for Marvel was
right.
because of Civil War, right? So Civil War, if you read the comics, I know you have at one point. He is he's the only superhuman probably who has the most to lose by revealing his identity, right? So
He does it.
and he does, right? So which causes like a huge like uproar because they're like, oh my god, this entire time it's been this guy,
Yeah.
right? Like who would have thought that it's just your friendly neighborhood Peter Parker? That's Spider-Man, right? So it was the biggest thing, and during that time, Tony Stark enlists him as his entourage or as his like assistant essentially, right? And during that time, that's when he does
makes him the suit.
but he modifies a suit prior to giving him the Iron Spider suit, right? And the
Okay.
Iron Spider suit is basically it has like it's a double-edged sword in this scenario, right? So knowing that we have Civil War between the Cap and between Iron Man is constantly, we know he's a tinker. He's constantly evolving. He's constantly learning new things, all that kind of stuff. So now he's given a suit to someone who has a whole bunch of superhuman abilities that nobody really understands, right? And generally, because he's a tinkerer, he's an engineer, he wants to figure out how it works. So here he is giving said suit. And if you read the comic books like you have, one scene, Captain America fights with all of his clique, again, Iron Man with his clique. And during that time, everybody's trying to hit Iron Man, and he's dodging everything from behind him, from every single direction.
Yeah.
And that's when they find out the reason why he gave that suit was to learn about his spider sense. Right?
Okay.
And once he gets that whole ability and understand how to calculate it and everything as well, because he gave that suit, and the suit's constantly in his head, learning about all that kind of stuff, boom. Now he's making a new Iron Man suit with that special calibration in it.
Yeah.
So now he can take on even bigger, better foes, right? Hence Captain America, because he can't fight Captain America. That was the biggest thing. He was trying to fight him, he can't, because Captain America just
Hand
keeps
to
coming.
hand. You saw as soon as the Vision in the comic ripped out the sensor and he was just all dead weight.
Done.
He literally in the comic said, "Oh shit."
Yeah, exactly.
He just like Rogers hand-to-hand combat is probably one of the best, if not the best. T'Challa's probably up there.
Yeah,
man.
T'Challa.
Another scene I would have
Annihilated.
loved to see in the Civil War movie that wasn't in the Civil War movie because they have the rights to Punisher now.
Yep.
Because
Nice.
it's phenomenal. I don't know if you guys have watched second season of Daredevil on
Yes.
Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Awesome.
The Punisher, they could like that would have been a fun way to incorporate the Netflix series into the MCU. So that being said, do you remember the scene, AJ, where Punisher carries Spider-Man into Captain America's
Yes,
hideout?
this dude. So some of the Thunderbolts catch up to Spider-Man while he's trying to defect from Iron Man's side to go find where Cap is. Cap is like in this underground facility that Nick Fury has set aside, right? This underground bunker. During that time, I want to say Hobgoblin is one of the guys that fight Peter Parker and a couple of other villains. Literally, he is just beer, blood, and bones almost to the point where he's about to die. And at that point, Punisher shows up. Busts some heads, takes Peter Parker, brings him into the facility, and they pretty much nurse him back to health. And that was just so sick. And then afterwards, he's like, you know what? I'm done being normal Spider-Man. I'm sick of all this crap. Dons the black Spider-Man suit.
Nice.
And he's just like, now I mean business.
Another scene too from the Civil War that would have incorporated was also another Punisher scene with Captain America where we all know Punisher kills.
Yep.
And he kills.
Does?
Yeah, vibes. There's a scene where he kills two supervillains, and Cap's very no killing. And you see Captain America lose his mind, and he beats Punisher with his bare hands within an inch of his life, and like it's the darkest twist I think I've ever seen in Captain America besides the Secret Empire story, which is phenomenal. If you're not reading it, read it.
That happens in the facility, right?
Yeah,
And then
Cap does it in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Makes an example of him. We don't kill.
I think that was after he brings Peter Parker
Yeah,
over. Yeah, it's
yeah.
right after. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember that.
Because two supervillains were sided with Cap, and then Punisher's like, "Why are you here?" And then he kills him. And it's like, no, they're our friend. Like we need all the people we can get. Iron Man's buying people. These people are here just because they agree with us.
Yeah.
So just to see Captain America lose his mind and
Yeah, it's
like
good.
do it, great arc.
Yeah.
Great arc.
Honestly, man, I'm so happy what they did with Captain America in the MCU because of like they have made him badass again, right? And they do have a problem with him as like not a lot of people like him. They're like,
don't
he's
like him.
okay, he's all
He's too
right.
happy-go-lucky.
But yo, man, I've seen this guy jump out of a shield helicarrier, put his shield into an actual F-18, told the dude to land it after he just beat the crap out of 18 guys
Now,
on one floor
let me ask
in
you
front
a
of
question.
Janet Hill.
So after watching that scene,
Mm-hmm.
I still feel that the Amazonians fight looked more badass
Oh.
than anything Captain America's
Oh,
done.
okay,
and they
but
were all
I'm not.
females.
Oh,
yeah, of
hands
course.
down.
It was
yeah, hands
way
down.
more badass.
Wonder
Of
Woman
course.
throwing the tank and
Right? All of that. Oh man.
Come on.
All
It
right.
reminded me
So
a
to
lot
answer
of
your-
like the 300.
It did. It did. And that's
That was
because
so
they
bad.
are from that
Like,
time,
yeah.
technically, right? So.
Yeah. So to answer your question,
oh yeah, we totally beat
yeah,
it.
no, I
Question.
don't think that it's going to be another Iron Man movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So I
sorry.
think the trailers may be overdoing it a little bit, making it appear that there's going to be too much Tony, but I don't think there's going to be. They're still going to make this a Spider-Man film.
I honestly expected them, like, the scene that they showed in the trailers is probably the only scene, right?
I hope so.
We're not going to see too much of him. He's more
yeah,
of
I
a
don't think
mentor,
so.
and he's just more like, he's more of a mentor. If anything, he's just going to sit there and say some things here and there, that kind of stuff, right? So,
What would be cool is if Daredevil shows up in the movie.
that'd be great.
What?
Be awesome.
I think that would be dope.
I'm excited for Defenders. I have a question for you
Looks
guys.
so sick.
Do you have any reading recommendations right now? Is there any comics or anything?
I haven't read anything in like 15 years. So
Oh, shit.
it's been
I
a
gave
long
you
time.
what I had recently,
Yeah.
so
I'm constantly reading. Like right now, I'm doing Spider-Verse: Fear Itself.
Nice.
Volume 1 and 2 of Rebirth of Flash. There's Blackest Night. You came in the store one day and were talking about Blackest Night. I went home and bought it. I was
No,
like,
yo,
yeah.
dude, that series is amazing.
Mhm.
That series is super amazing. I would actually recommend you guys looking into that Brightest Day. Yeah,
yeah, you told me
Brightest-
about this before.
Brightest Day, Blackest Night series. It's the
Well, you have it, right?
Yeah, I have it.
It's
And
a
I can
great way.
borrow it after me? That'd be
All of
cool.
it incorporates everything from DCU.
Nice.
Like it's got almost every single character. At one point, you see Scarecrow with the yellow lantern ring,
Oh, wow.
which is on the same side as Batman,
Barry
Wow.
Allen with the blue ring.
right? Like everybody
Wonder
gets a
Woman
ring.
has
It's-
like a ring too. Mira has the red ring.
yeah, it's beautiful, man. The series is great. But we're getting to the end of our segment, guys. So we're gonna ready to call it. So basically, we got 3 new shows as well. If you guys are following this, and if you guys want to check the other shows on YouTube, we got Third Round, which is a Dungeons and Dragons show. We got Road to Ranked, which is a beautiful video game rank system game or ranked show. And then we got Quest Accepted for those people who just want to jump in on some funny action for video games. Obviously, you got us, Nearly Nerdy. We're gonna tune out though. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We do have a North of Nerdy Instagram as well, guys. So follow us on that, as well as North Nerdy Facebook and North of Nerdy YouTube. Anything else, you guys?
I'm good. Oh, just one thing that you said, you were asking for reading recommendations. You probably, I don't know if you've read it already, but Bruce Wayne Murderer.
No,
Read
it's
it.
on my list.
There's 2 of
There we
them.
go.
Bruce Wayne Murderer, Bruce Wayne Fugitive.
Okay.
So,
You should get
I'm
those.
yeah.
checking that out when I leave.
Oh man, that's what made Batman my favorite character. And it's the darkest Batman I've ever seen. It's the darkest Bruce Wayne I've ever
Sick.
seen.
My only
Someone
thing
send it
is,
to Ben Affleck.
You know my Batman like wish for the movie, but I did my party thing is just if you're interested in the stuff we're talking about and you want to become more knowledgeable, Big B Comics, Dungeon Comics, support
Yes.
them. They're local, great prices, everything.
Definitely.
Local Upper James and the other one Big B's on Upper James, the other one's down on King Street.
Yeah, I just
Dungeon.
bought all their Punisher comics from the 199 bin just to cut them up. They're gonna love me. But my project looks amazing. It's almost done. I'll finish it tomorrow.
But if you
Post the
guys go to
pictures.
Big B, tell them James and AJ sent you. Yeah. Do they know you by name yet, Trevor?
No.
Nah,
Okay, well, they better know you by now.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
tell
know.
them Trevor sent you. They'll be
You're
like,
watching this, guys.
the fuck is
Yeah,
that?
right?
Is that the guy that comes in and just takes all the Flash stuff in bulk?
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. So like, subscribe, follow YouTube North of Nerdy. We out.
Bye.
Been to Comic-Con, hope you speak my language. Your Harley Quinn don't need explaining. All I really need for you to do is just please talk nerdy to me.
What's going on, everybody? You are tuned in to another episode of Nearly Nerdy. Recorded live in the Slick Studios, Stony Creek, Ontario. As always, your hosts, AJ, James, aka Mr. J, Ricks, myself, Spads. Boys, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's get it going.